Sorry, y'all. I'm making an Instagram post, and then we are cooking. Shit. I thought the AC was on. That's why we had that background hum, but I guess not. Oh, well. We're about to get going here. We're going live on Instagram right now, and then we will be starting officially. Thank you all for waiting a moment. Appreciate the patience. I do apologize. Well, if it'll let me go live on Instagram, it's being really stupid right now. Oh, come on, we don't have time for this. Okay. All right, here we go. I think we're about to go official here. There we go. Looking good on Instagram. We're looking good on YouTube. And guys, I know it is 7:06 if you're out here in the central like me. Maybe even earlier if you're over at Robo Games right now. It is not even daylight. You're probably still asleep. If you're watching this, you're insane. As we already get some people writing in. Legend Rider 3255. Hello, hello, and good morning. And for those of you like me who literally got up no more than 20 minutes ago, join me as we have our not named brand 5 Hour Energy. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Combot Collective, bringing everything you want to know about the world of robot combat, whether it be the heavyweight class like yesterday or the featherweight to the beataweight class like today. It's time for another NHRL live stream. We are fired up. It is early, but it's time to do this again, as today we're talking about Norwalk Havoc Robot League. I thought something weird was going on my screen on Instagram Live. But yes, we are live right now on YouTube and Instagram Live. If you guys were here for our stream yesterday, thank you all so much for attending it. I know this is a bit of a full whiplash. We're back 12 hours later, and we don't have the time like we do for Robo Games, so we aren't going to waste time. It's already 7:07. We ran a little bit late. We'll go a little bit over just to make up for it. We won't keep you guys off the NHRL mainstream for too long, but we are going to try to speed things up a little bit here. We got 3 classes to talk about: storylines, predictions, all of that jazz. Looking at brackets, we're going to look at who's competing. We're going to do what we always do here for Norwalk Havoc before the Havoc pre-show. This is our 3rd of the year. We did one for January, the new bots event. Of course, we did a competitors edition in March, and that was a lot of fun. If you guys remember that, we will be returning some point this year with another version of the Combat Crusader. Look out for that, but this time I'm kicking back a little bit, and I'm just here to watch some robot fights with you guys like we usually do. So let's go ahead and go to our main overlay here, as we always do, and get our window capture going here a little bit. Kinekitsu, good morning, checking in from Ohio. It is lovely to see you here this morning, having some breakfast and BattleBots with us. We appreciate you. Welcome in. Getting everything set up right there. Chat set up. Our main window is set up, and we can talk about some robots here. Hello, and everyone joining on Instagram right now. Seshtakiri, Volante, Cyberjam, you're all very welcome here. Stick around. We're talking about robot combat. We're also on YouTube Live if you want a more detailed version of the live stream. Right now, we're just on the TCC Instagram page. We are doing that Instagram live stream. If you aren't following us on Instagram, we are on other social media pages such as Facebook, such as Instagram, and that's actually it right now. We do have a Discord server as well if you want to check that out. Go ahead and cut to it right here. That's going to be on our Linktree with all the other pages that we have, like as our 2023 rankings that we are going to be updating soon, because we have fights to talk about now, that's for sure, especially after Extreme Robots today. Yeah, big storylines to watch right here. Lots of fun. But let's go ahead and keep the ball rolling here. And let's jump into this first class to talk about today, boys. We're talking about beetle weights. It's easy to start with. We did beetle weights at the end of the stream yesterday. We're going to go ahead and be smooth and be quick. Hello, Adrenaline Guy. Good to see you. Good morning. And talk about the small bots here today. We're going to go small to big this time around. And as you see here, we got a bunch of mainstays that we're highlighting on our beetle weights to watch list today. Some robots. We got the Bomber from the Bahamas, Spartan. We'll get to that robot. We got a very fun robot here at the bottom. So let's get cooking and look at some machines here. Of course, we were just talking about Johnny Supas and Spartan. We're going to be talking about Team Stamina quite a bit on this little live stream. They're going to be one of our big stories to follow. If you didn't see us on Instagram yet, check out that graphic if you don't want to wait. It is NHRL rank number 32. It did make the finals last year off a very, very fun semifinals matchup against Bad Kitty. I'm sorry, it was quarterfinals matchup at that time. Quarterfinals matchup against Bad Kitty. Got into the dance, but sort of had a middling performance at the NHRL 2024 finals. But Johnny Supas is a very ambitious kid. We already know his connections with Ray Billings. Surprised he's not at Robo Games, to be honest, helping with him. But instead, he's across the country spreading the hardcore robotics love around just a little bit. Hello, Robo Madness 2024. And we're going to see what the horizontal spinner can do. It's always destructive. We know this robot can beat just about anybody. We've seen it beat Lynx. We've seen it beat Chainsaw Kitty. We're going to have to see how it does this time around. I'll be honest, I didn't see Chainsaw Kitty on the sign-ups when I was making our graphics. I'm shocked. Looks like Chainsaw Kitty isn't there today. That's a little bit surprising. Let me verify that. But yeah, Spartan, very excited to see Johnny Supus again. The Bahamian Brawler. I'm trying to get a good nickname. I'm trying to go full Jazz Chisholm with it. Hello, Anouk Marak 12 on Instagram Live. Thank you for joining us. Electric, Mr. Electric, good morning. We got 6 people right now on the YouTube live stream. I'm not joking when I say that's a lot for what our 7 a.m. streams usually go when they start, so that's super exciting. We'll get back to Blackbird because that's a really fun story. You guys know I love me some Blackbird. Clyde, NHRL ranked number 15. Clyde always finds a way to sneak into a couple of these Beetle Baits to watch lists every year when we do these live streams. And quite frankly, it's because I absolutely love the robot. It's very simple. It's a big old scoopy wedge, some forks on the front from WPI, the same guys that bring us robots like Bloodsport, Retrograde, maybe even other robots like Sublime, or not Sublime. What's their new robot that they're talking about? Oh, Fireball, duh. It's only an NHRL robot. Same coloring as Clyde. Plenty of things coming up to the BNS. Did I say BNS? I'm so sorry. 7 a.m. brain's already kicking in. The WPI pipeline, the Team Robot pipeline. My apologies. Gosh. And another reason why I make it in here is because, quite frankly, I'm a sucker for fire robots. And outside of, your big heavy hitters like Dutch Oven and Mixtape, of course, Clyde's probably up there in terms of, always showing up, always being consistent, and it always puts on a fun show. It's going to hold your ass there, and it's going to torch you, and it's going to do it again and again and again. It's an all-timer at NHRL. It's a long-timer at NHRL. Multi-time finalist, if I do remember correctly. I don't know if it has its championship yet. I don't know if it has an NHRL Qualifier monthly championship yet. Maybe we can see that change. It's another robot just like Spartan where it's in a position, especially at NHRL, where it can beat any robot as easily as it can lose to any robot. Just really depends on how those first few exchanges go in the fight. And then we got a really, really fun robot here at the bottom. Usually we're able to provide a pretty good picture of all these robots whenever it's time to discuss them and what have you. We don't really have that this time around. Instead, we have a picture which is literally taken from a video that we got on the NHRL Discord of a brand new robot being built by a fella named Kyle M. I'm going to pull this video up. I watched it a few times, so it should be, excuse me, energy drinks catching up to me. So it should be here pretty easily to load. This is Who Cares. This is literally where I siphoned this picture from. It's just your simple, very Clyde-esque, as it is also a WPI robot, two-wheel drive. You can see the spinner right here, but this is a Wii remote, and we are not about to play Wii Play. We are not about to do some bowling or do some flying on Wii Sports Resorts. This robot's weapon is powered by a Wii Motion Plus. Check this out, y'all. Obviously, you can't hear. You can see the motor right there spinning up a little bit as he, raises the Wii remote. I wish I had a Wii remote. I have all my video games right behind me, but I don't have the Wii remote on me. Up and down, as you can kind of see in the demonstration right here. And no, this isn't the most spectacular robot or the most pompous robot or pretty robot, as Amat Jangid 94, thank you for joining the Instagram Live. But it's super fun. We're going to see Luke and Kyle and all the boys freaking out about this guy with his little Wii remote waggling around during the qualifier stream, maybe even during the primetime stream if the robot impresses. I figured we have to have one fun robot in here because a lot of the robots that we're covering today in our robots to watch lists, pretty serious robots that we've seen make the block a few times at NHRL before in the past. One of these robots being our NHRL number 49 ranked robot Blackbird. Of course, from one of our best friends here at the Combot Collective. Proud sponsor of the Combot Collective last year with Robots Ruin My Life, Tony D'Ambrosio. Fantastic guy. The Combot Collective would not be here without him. We wouldn't have that badass P1 wheel in the background right now if it wasn't for him. So I can't think enough how great he's been for me. I say that in every Before the Havoc stream, so I should probably quit gushing over him and simping. But I digress. His robot Blackbird is a beautiful robot. It is a former NHRL event finalist. We've seen him make to the final two all the way back in April 2022, where it had that crazy run, lost to Lynx in the finals. But we've also seen him make a couple NHRL finals. We've seen it appear at a couple NHRL All-Star events. Not as good of a year, though, for Anthony D'Ambrosio last year. Blackbird did make it to the NHRL finals. but the brand new robot Darkstar was dealing with some troubles. Darkstar still not the robot we were hoping to see it be. I'm sure we will see it be there by the end of the year. Not so much right now. Instead, Blackbird is debuting this year with something very, very special happening. We heard a little bit last year when they were talking about this robot after it got eliminated from NHRL's competition, the last competed in. I want to say at the finals or maybe the event before that. But Blackbird entered semi-retirement. It is not captained by Tony D'Ambrosio anymore as he's moving on to other projects. But Blackbird is still here with his daughter, Aria D'Ambrosio, who has driven in other events. Has performed pretty well in other events with other robots. I don't know if she's done any with Blackbird. I might be incorrect on that. Don't quote me on it. But this is going to be her first time at Norwalk Havoc with the beloved Blackbird, and we are so excited. I am so excited for her. You love seeing the second generation of drivers in the family, and it's going to be so fun. I really hope that this robot draws well. It's going to have a number 49 rank, so it's going to have some seating to help her get a little bit further into the tournament and get some easier opponents, maybe a bye once we get into that bracket. We're just going to have to see how it goes. As an inventor by heart joins on Instagram, welcome along, welcome aboard. Everyone that's coming in right now, super early, bright and early, thank you all so much. We're going to have some fun here on this early stream of NHRL. Let's go ahead and cut over now, though, to the fights and the brackets for this competition in the 3-pound class. On a holiday, April the 20th, of course. We're going to talk about Wake and Bake here in a second, but I hope you guys are all... I can't yet because I'm trying to be a good boy, be professional on stream, but I hope we're all waking and baking this morning, having a little bit of fun. Let's go ahead and jump into these 3-pounders and talk about some fun robots here. I hope you guys can see that. I know it's a little bit hard. It's a bunch of text. But yeah, let's look at some of these robots here to go over. We got Blind Side here by Robert Walsh. We got Clyde here, of course. We got Crocodile, who I've never actually heard of before. I like that name. I went through this yesterday. Not too many robots stood out here to me. A lot of your usuals like Fei Fan, like Fully Defined. Always expect Fully Defined to have a pretty good run. Half-Life is here, the robot which slayed Spitfire. Really hope we do see Spitfire at some point this year. But Half-Life is going to be one of the better control bots in the field, especially while machines like Supreme Ruler and Crash Fest are over across the country. Competing at Robo Games, we got IDK WTFID, which had a pretty good run earlier on in the year. Impact, of course, from Lars Elliott of Team Stamina, his brand new robot, inspired by Robot Rumble 2. We got Jack Ketch. We got Intolerance in the house. Louis, this is a fun robot, and I was going to highlight this robot. Nothing, no pictures on it, so we're just going to have to see what happens when it's on stream later today. Instagram is being goofy. Oh well, don't worry about it. Hello, Slider S15. Welcome to the show. Louis the 15th is essentially, of course, as you see here, by Combat Robotics at Cornell. They aren't one of our storylines, but they are here for the first time this year. They're always a really fun group. They always are a really loud crowd, and they always bring some really fun robots. They brought 3 in total this time, 2 featherweights, which we also know nothing about, outside of one, which is fairly meta, and then 1 beetleweight, which is this one right here, Louis the... I am so bad with Roman numerals. Louis the 17th, right? That's what that says? I think so. This is apparently a AI-powered robot. It's completely AI-powered. Apparently, if you go through the chat logs for the April event, they were, like, trying to get a weight bonus for their AI system, and some people shot that down, so I don't exactly know what they're promising. But this is apparently a revolutionary little robot right here. We're going to have to see what Ethan Zong and the rest of the team has in mind for the competition. Hopefully it does appear on the qualifier stream. We're just going to have to see what happens. Keeping on going down here, we got Mystery Machine. That's a fun name. Mooncake right by. That's another fun name. Patrick Bateman. Power Surge 2, another Team Stamina robot. 2-wheel drive drum bot. There's a lot of them there, but watch out for them. A robot which shocked everyone by making it all the way to the final during the March 2nd event. Red Panda is here once again. They've already qualified for the NHRL finals. They're trying to get some extra reps in. We got Silent X by Jameson Go. Jameson Go may very well just sweep the competition today. RoboJackets has Skinny. We're going to be talking more about RoboJackets later on in the day. Team Defective is here with a brand new robot called Ingus. It looks like Wormhole, of course, another friend of the Combot Collective from Stephen Bogus. Love me some horizontal spinners, depleted wheels. Love to see that. Tryhard is here. Tomahawk 2.0. Saw the name Dustin Van Bursik. I thought we had a Dutch team here, but I digress. Now let's go ahead and check out these qualifier fights happening pretty early in the day. Does anything really stand out to us? Patrick Bateman's taking on Louis the 17th, the battle of the historic figures. You love to see that. IDKWTFID is taking on Shark Attack. Jack Ketch is taking on DEFCON. Busy day between RoboGames, NHRL, and Extreme Robots, says Slider S15 on Instagram. Absolutely. I'm going to have to find a way to do multiple monitors, multiple screens to keep up with everything. There's going to be a lot happening, and I'm going to have to do a lot of keeping up today. I got a busy day. Actually, I have to attend a fundraising dinner like right after this at 10 a.m. So after that, I'm going to be sneaking views of like Extreme Robots and NHRL on my phone. It's going to be a loaded day for me. And after that, I'm going to come right home and watch war streams. So we're going to be all over the place today. Hopefully y'all will join me, though, in that. It's going to be a good time. Scab Armor taking on Hammerhead here. TBD today taking on Insomnia. Tilduff taking on Pretty Fly. Blindside Mario. Rhino Katana. Obviously, so many new robots. You look at this kind of page right here, and you're like, I don't really know what's going on here. Spartan fighting Cricket. So not really much we can make out of this at least, but we will go ahead and get to the next weight class so we can move briskly along here. We don't want to fall behind too much as we start talking about not beetle weights, but 12-pounders, as yes, it's time to get into detail about my boys Angel and Alex, huge friends of the Combot Collective. When we did our short-lived After the Havoc podcast, they were regular guests, and they were phenomenal guests, awesome people. They were always willing to help in whatever way they can for these live streams. And I would have asked them for a picture of the 12-pound wake and bake, so I'm not using this picture of the old 3-pound version here, which I meant to label as a disclaimer. This is the 3-pound version up top, not the 12-pound version, but I would imagine it does look fairly similar. It is going to be another clusterbot style robot. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. I was going to ask them for a picture, but I did have to make these graphics pretty much immediately after the RoboGame show. So we got some more buddies here online. Louis Procure, welcome to the YouTube show. Asking, I'm a bit late. Will Kevin Molcheski be present for this event? I don't believe so. I believe he's actually across the country right now for RoboGames. If you didn't see our RoboGames live stream, be sure to catch the VOD. We talked a lot about some of the robots that are competing in that event if you are interested and excited for more robot combat events. I believe that Red Storm, Timber Viper are both across the country right now at RoboGames for the 12-pound and 30-pound championship at that event, and that's where they're doing that right now. I might be wrong, but I think that's what it said on the signups for those competitions. Uh-oh. Why is Instagram doing this? This was not doing this to me yesterday. Whatever. So he's going to be over there. Brett the Brick and all of his friends can breathe a little bit. They don't have to worry about that psychopath claw bot, at least for this event. Maybe next time they're going to come through and take those spots. And I'm sure all these 12-pounders are pretty happy that Timber Viper is not in the house today. But let's keep talking about this. Hello, yes. Wake and Bake is here for the first time, and it showed up at the perfect time. Kenakitsu, 420, time for Clyde to blaze. And I guess Clyde's a fitting robot for this too. But as you can kind of see right here, I'm not going to, for TOS purposes, I'm not going to specify what this large chimney-like apparatus is in the background. But hey, if you know, you know. Wake and Bake is here. They are finally a 12-pound robot. And we're going to talk a little bit more about them in our storylines, of course. But just to say, I am so excited for Angel and Alex. These guys, we haven't seen Wake and Bake. We know Alex can make some phenomenal stuff. We know Angel can make some real killers. So they're back here, and we're going to see what they can do with a big robot. Sometimes these big robot transitions go well. You know, we've seen Caldera have some success in the 12-pound class lately. Sometimes there's some struggles. You know, sometimes it's not a perfect shift over. Remember how rough of a start it was for Axis of Evil late into last year? I digress. Talking about robots with rough starts, number 106 ranked Blue Cheese is here once again. And if you know Blue Cheese in the past couple of years, it's been on the rough side of history a few times at NHRL, even though it is part of the very stacked Team Defective. It's a little bit of a glass Joe. We've seen it get obliterated by some robots such as such as brain fart there, such as Bugsby, such as some other robots in the past. I remember that whole Bugsby ordeal where they couldn't get a good shot of Blue Cheese getting obliterated. I was so glad to finally see it. Don't know if that's going to happen this time. Blue Cheese, if you guys watched Motorama earlier this year, I talked about it a little bit yesterday. I'm not doing a Motorama video this year because I feel like we're a little bit too far past when it originally happened. But Blue Cheese was at Motorama in the 12-pound class earlier this year, and it looked great. This brand new Chigger S design. This was the only really good picture I can find of the robot. It's got 6 wheels now. It can drive inverted. The drum hits well. Still a lot of room for improvement, but maybe we'll see that today. Watch out for Team Defective's Blue Cheese. And as always, just in general, watch out for Team Defective. They run this 12-pound class, 100%. They won it last time with Promheta, and they might just do it again. Another robot from Motorama that you might need to watch out for is actually from Broken Gears Robotics, coming out of New York. It is Mind Flayer. Now, we talked about it a little bit already. Brandon Bennett Young. Last year, this kid went all the way over across the pond to England for Robo Nerd and a featherweight competition to compete with Fracas. And over there, I guess he got a little bit inspired because when he came back across the country at the end of the year, he decided he was going to build a small version of Europe's best spinner right now, Zadkiel, of course, from Team Gabriel and the Callias family. Amazing people, really sweet people over there. And I'm sure they feel honored that this robot is now here. This dude went to UK once, and he came back and said, I'm building me a mini Zadkiel. And here it is, everybody. Mind Flayer. It competed at Motorama. It did okay. It could have done better. It was very destructive. Same exact concept as Zadkiel here. Huge style body, big stabilizers in the back, and a bludgeoning face spinner that can be a vertical spinner or a horizontal spinner depending on how it's angled at the face. And this thing is awesome. First time it's competed at NHRL, I believe, and I am so stoked to see this machine in action. I know Brett, and especially Kyle, because he's a big Motorama guy, are going to know what's going on here with this machine, and super stoked to see it compete. Maybe it's going to fight another robot based off a heavyweight, Battletoads. Battletoads competed, of course, at January's NHRL event, the New Bots competition. Same force has been at NHRL events before, but the baby robot is brand new, and the whole gimmick of this fun team, they talked about it a little bit after it got eliminated at that January event, is they want to keep adding these mini replicas of BattleBots to their rotation so they can constantly cycle it out. So maybe we get a mini Gigabyte and a mini Ribbot, and then the next battle is a mini Bite Force and a mini Endgame, and the next battle is like a mini Tombstone and a mini Ribbot, and they can keep cycling it out, depending on who they want to have as their main robot. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, a very fun concept depending on how much they work with it, how much they expand on it. I don't exactly know if there's going to be further Battletoads at this event, or if it's going to be just Ribbot and Bite Force again, or I should say Same Force. Maybe it's Tadpole and Same Force because it's a little robots. Yeah, they look like little mini Ribbot and Bite Force. It could be, it's just sort of like the robot's like, we're going to take the Hex Bugs, we're going to make them big. Pretty much that. Very fun designs, very fun robot, and I look forward to seeing these guys compete. NHRL ranked number 34 after their very solid tournament run in their debut. Maybe they'll add to that. Maybe they'll make it 15. Maybe they'll make it a single-digit number after a good run at this event. Clusterbots always seem to do pretty well in the 12-pound class and the 30-pound class at NHRL. And NHRL in general, you know, we talk about the meta of Clusterbots kind of dying out in the heavyweight class. Especially after some very disappointing performances by robots like Gemini, like Catitian, like especially the twins lately at BattleBots. Hopefully we can see that improve, but they're still doing very well in the smaller classes, which is to be expected. Sometimes that stuff doesn't translate over, hasn't really done lately. But now, back to the main overlay. Let's take a look at other robots which have signed up for this competition. A little bit easier to take in and digest what we're looking at here. We got Emphas Bana, they're back. We got Arsenal, they're back from, I believe, Puerto Rico, I believe, is this where this robot is from. And just under it, another international entrant, all the way from India. I always love talking about my Indian fans. We got tons of them right now on Instagram Live. Did y'all hear that? I hope nobody heard that. I just totally ripped ass. It's all good. Mornings. I'm also getting older. You got to respect that. I didn't just... I digress. I'm not going to get talking about my rear gear here. Baby Grim from India is back. We talked about it a good bit when they last competed in September. The robot had some serious drive problems. Hopefully we can see that fixed. Our buddy Yash from Team Phoenix, I believe he was actually on the Instagram live stream earlier. Hopefully he's still hanging out there. We got Battle Tots, of course. We just talked about them. Beater B. Barker, another robot which is coming from Combat Robots at Cornell. I'm sorry, I said that these were 30-pounders. They're actually 12-pounders from Cornell. No 30-pounders from this time around. Beater B. Barker is a very meta robot, very simple, not like their usual fun designs. Should be a solid robot to watch out for. We got Blue Cheese. We just talked about Blue Cheese. We talked a little bit about Caldera 12. It's showing up for its third event of 3 events this year. I'm sure they're going to add to their ability. Maybe they'll even make the finals this time around. Herbie 4.0 is here. We got Killajoule. We got Killer Whale. Maximizer, who had a pretty rough event last time. Maybe they'll turn it around. Maybe they'll fight Mind Flayer, who we have labeled here. Nardo is the third and final robot from Combat Robotics at Cornell. I don't know exactly what this robot is. I tried looking it up. Maybe you guys know. We got Paje from Manuel Victor Ribeiro. I'm sure I butchered that name. Is this a Mexican team? This doesn't seem like an American team. Let's do some sleuthing here. Oh, I don't speak this language. I guess I should have expected that much, huh? Are they Brazilian? Anybody have an idea? Iron Cup. Okay, so this is a Brazilian team. This might be the only Brazilian team actually at the competition today. How many robots do these guys bring in? So they have one in each class. Interesting. So this is a team that's kind of under my radar. Probably won't be after this event. Goiteborg's radar. In fact, let me follow them while I'm here. Follow them on Instagram. Y'all do that too. Give those guys some support. Looks like they're showing up here with a robot per weight class. Watch out for them. We got Radon from University of Dayton, a team coming out of Ohio. Roaster, Reactor Jr., of course. Psycho is there. You can't forget Psycho. You can't forget Team Defective. And then we got Wake and Bake 12 there at the very bottom. What about that 12-pound bracket? How are we looking? What are we looking at? Still a bit sad there's basically no Polish teams in Robot Combat. Yeah, it's one of those European nations where it's like just not there. I'm sure there are some I'm sure there is some extent of a Polish scene, but just like a lot of these other small developing countries, it's probably a lot of folks that are I wouldn't say like that's not a bad thing, of course, but like it's just small robots, maybe like 1 pounds, small arenas over there. It's a developing scene, probably one that we just don't know about. I'm sure it's out there, but obviously there are plenty of steps away from competing at an event like NHRL or RoboGames. But then again, maybe they aren't. Look how quickly Turkey kind of rose back into prominence last year. We didn't talk about Turkey at all. Last time we saw them compete at all was in 2019, and all of a sudden they have Lonely Wolf competing, at Battle of Robots. They made it all the way to the top 16 of that event. And then we had Crescent competing for Turkey at NHRL last year, and that was a fun little robot. Some kids gaining experience from that. Hopefully we can see both those robots this year, maybe even more from Turkey. And Poland, who knows? I really love International Robot Combat. When we talk about this Battle of Robots Super Final, which is going to be an upcoming video, the whole hype I have for it is the fact it's so much like the Robot Wars World Championship, where it's a small exhibition tournament of sorts, but it's an exhibition tournament built around bringing robots from all around the world in to showcase them. I enjoyed that, and maybe we'll see more of that this year. But now let's get back to the topic here and talk about these 12-pound robots. Some fun matches here. I just talked about seeing these two fight. That's going to be a good match to watch out for, guys. Maximizer versus Mind Flayer. Killer M's, two robots that have such drastically wild weapons. That is going to be must-see TV. Radon's fighting Blue Cheese. Looks like Gallows Hummel's going to be taking on Caldera 12. Nardo is taking on Pahe in a battle of two robots I'm quite interested in that I don't know what they look like. Baby Grim is taking on Amphisbina. Psycho, I'll be talking a bit about Psycho later. Of course, G3 Robotics, you got to watch out for that robot. They're battling Gotham. Boyd is taking on Beater B. Barker. Battletoss is taking on Roaster. And speaking of getting roasted, Wake and Bake is going to start off its day against Herbie 4.0. Go Wake and Bake. Now, though, keeping this thing moving along briskly and smoothly, we're going to move over now to the 12-pounders. Not 12-pounders, the 30-pounders. The big bots here, the heavyweights of the show. And this is a very meta group of machines here. I know. Not the most exciting group. I told you all we kept them pretty simple this time around. Kind of had to make these graphics last minute this time, but I digress. And we got some heavy hitters here, like I said. Of course, we got Megatron at the top. I didn't put the other two Team G3 Robotics on here, but you know I had to put one of these robots in this robots to watch pile of machines to talk about here. And what better one than maybe the best featherweight in the world right now, probably the best team in the world right now, Megatron from Jameson Go, the robot that inspired Sawblaze. This machine has been kicking ass in the sport for, I won't say 20 years yet, but definitely over a decade. It is ranked number 5 at NHRL, and it is a robot that needs to be considered. A robot needs to be considered as the winner of any event it attends, whether it be Motorama, NHRL, or even if it decided to show up and go to RoboGames or an RCE event. If G3 Robotics is there, put your money on it. It's smart money. And it's going to be fighting, I believe if I heard correctly from Jameson Go on the NHRL chat, it's going to be taking on Chongi once again in what has become quite a rivalry between them and RoboJackets, G3 Robotics and RoboJackets. I'm sorry, it's not going to be Chonki, who is the number 24 ranked robot at NHRL. It's going to be Chonkiv, the 4th version of the Chonky family. This is a picture of Chonky number 3. We don't have a picture of Chonkiv yet. I tried looking for one, no dice, but we can only assume it's going to be a 45-pound full-body spinner, a little bit like the Combot Crusader. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit more reliable than the Combot Crusader. These guys have done great in the past with their big full-body spinning robots. Probably my favorite robot RoboJackets brings to NHRL every year. I think they're going to do good with Chonkiv. I certainly look forward to seeing them fight, and they're going to be fighting Megatron in their very first battle. So one of those robots is going to be on the back foot early. It's going to be tough for Chonkiv. They've struggled against Megatron in the past, but we're going to see how they do. 1 second, guys. Okay, my bad. Jeez, had to go off to the side real quick and do something. Hello, everyone joining on Instagram right now. By the way, TX Robotics, love the excitement. Manas D-Town Robotics, super excited to see you here as well. We're having a lot of fun here as we move forward through the bracket. I am like gassy this morning. I know TMI, you guys don't need to know that, but it's kind of slowing me down here, but I digress. Megatron and Chonkiv, two very solid robots, both of the vertical spinning and the horizontal spinning variety to watch out for this event. But I want to give a little bit of a shout out to this robot right here. When we were doing our competitor edition version of Before the Havoc last month, and we were talking about 4 robots we were excited about and 4 robots we were not excited about potentially facing. What's up, T. Sanford? Good to see you, buddy. I did not talk about Ares, and it's not because I wasn't... I guess I got to quote Shaq here. I wasn't familiar with its game. I didn't put it here. There were no pictures of this robot. In fact, there's still barely pictures of this robot, as you can see by the very crusty picture I have chosen to select it to represent it here. But Ares, of course, coming from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. We really haven't had many new robots coming from MIT since the big BattleBots 4 showed up at BattleBots. This is a new one, 4-wheel drive, beater drum, kind of similar to robots like Riptide or Hailstorm, who's currently competing at RoboGames for the University of Ohio. Ares is a very solid robot, did very well, made it to the semifinals where it only lost to Emulsifier at that last event. and now they are NHRL ranked number 19. They might very well qualify this time around. We're going to have to see what happens. One robot that might not qualify, I had to put it here just because, quite frankly, it's nice to see another axe bot in NHRL. We haven't seen an axe bot in a while, and it comes from a buddy I'm kind of familiar with, Circuit from Broken Gears Robotics, the lovable underdog Ethan Shipley. They're here once again with a robot that recently competed at Motorama 2024, along with robots like Pepe Sylvia, who we were talking about yesterday, and robots we were talking about today like Mind Flayer and the like, Blue Cheese. Circuit was also there, but it wasn't competing with Pepe Sylvia or Blue Cheese. It was in the sportsman competition at Motorama 2024, and it didn't do the best. We can be brutally honest. So because of that, I can see this robot going one of two ways, to be honest here. Look at how Fracas did last year. Fracas did pretty horribly at Motorama 2023. We really didn't know what to expect out of it when it showed up for full combat action at NHRL, since it struggled against sportsmen at Motorama. But then it turned out to do pretty damn well. It got third place at an event in the UK, and ended up making to the NHRL 2023 finals. Ended up being a bit of a glow up for Fracas that we saw happening right in front of us throughout the entire year. It was super nice to see. Now, will that happen to Circuit? Like I said, I think it's going to go one of two ways. Either Circuit's going to shock us all. It's going to manage to get some crazy victories over robots like Chonkiv, like Ura Ura, or whatever that new Brazilian robot is named. But could go the other way. Could just get thrashed by machines like that. We're going to have to see what happens. One way or the other, I saw this robot nicely sitting in Ethan Shipley's car on the way to the event, sitting peacefully, knowing that eventually it is going to get its ass kicked today. But I digress. Go ahead and cut back over here to the main area. Yeah, just a bit expensive hobby for now, but who knows. Hopefully we can see it get more affordable. Kit bots are sort of becoming more and more popular throughout the year, so that is a good thing to see. More popular, more expensive, more variations for people to buy, especially in the 1 pound variety. I know I need to get a kit bot at some point and really get into the scene. I want to do like a D2 kit. I got a really fun name for a kit bot if I do get the chance to use it. Have to see what happens. We got some really fun names, some really fun robots right here, like Barbie and Ken from Team WPI, James Negan. This is a very fun robot, super excited from it. I know that Brian Boxall from the WPI family have been helping with this robot, and this is going to be a nice one. I've seen pictures of these guys' spinners. In fact, let me pull them up real quick. It looks like it's going to be a pair of vertical spinners between Barbie and Ken, but here we have not pictures of their robot, but pictures of their weapons, as you see right here. One's more drum, one's more egg beater, where these things look nasty, especially when they're unifying forces and doing some damage inside of the arena. Super excited to see that, and I believe they're going to be fighting Aries first, so that's going to be a battle of heavy hitters. Can't wait to see that go down. We got Anxiety here as well. They qualified for the NHRL finals, I believe last year or the year before that. Chonkiv is here, of course. Emperor is here, along with Waddles. We got 2 penguin-themed robots. We got Fenway Defender, who we've seen compete at Robo Brawl before in the past, representing the New England region with that fun Red Sox-themed name. Grippy is here. Don't know anything about it. We got Megatron here, the baby version of Sawblaze. Moccasin here, the baby version of Mammoth. That could be a fun match to see. We talked a little bit about Circuit. Smack-A-Lantern is back. One of the robots we actually had the opportunity to battle at the March 2nd event. In fact, Smack-A-Lantern boys, we have your trophy right here. This is a chunk of the robot that we ripped off. We'll be cheering for them, though, because they're awesome people. They're very sweet people. I had the chance to talk to them before we met inside the arena. We have Tsunami, another RoboJackets robot, 2-wheel drive drum bot. We got Uraru, the robot I was talking about, coming out of Brazil, built by Wesley Velasco of Goiteborgs. We got Vacatank, of course. We didn't get the chance to fight him last month, but you gotta love the Milk Tank team. They're here once again. And, of course, Waddles, Team WPI at the bottom. You got to expect Team Waddles to do good. They're a very solid robot, very solid team. Bracket, though, what are we looking at? We got a lot of robots here that we know fighting one another. Moccasin versus Emperor. Who's going to do good between a snake and a penguin? Sounds like a messed up thing you would do on Zoo Tycoon. Smack-A-Lantern takes on Tsunami in a battle of Big Drum versus Little Drum. Waddles is going to be taking on Grippy. Fenway Defender is going to be taking on Circuit, a Robo Brawl veteran taking on a Motorama veteran. That's going to be interesting. Megatron versus Chonkiv. I talked about Mind Flayer versus Maximizer being a fight that you should watch out for at the qualifiers. Megatron versus Chonkiv should be right there for you as well. We got Hmm? Goose? Goose forfeited. Okay, I was wondering about that. I was like, what? I didn't know Goose was at the competition today. Aries and Barbie and Ken, and then Uraru and Anxiety. They're going to be fighting later in the day, of course, because they are beetleweights. I'm sorry, because they are featherweights. But we do have some very, very exciting robots lined up here. It is 7:46. We are going for probably about 20 more minutes. So we're going to move briskly along here. And now we've talked about the 12-pounders, of course. We got some fun robots here. Wake and bake to celebrate the holidays. Maybe you're going to eat some blue cheese while you wake and bake. We got the kitties here, Battle Tots. A very fun robot you guys can watch out for, like Mind Flayer. Mind Flayer might make a big run here. You never know. And then in the beetleweight class, machines like Spartan, the Brawler from the Bahamas. They're here. Blackbird with Aria D'Ambrosio for the first time ever. They're here. Clyde here to bring the fire and wake and bake. Maybe they'll spark that blunt for us. They're here. And then we have Who Cares? It's powered by a Wii Remote, LOL. Going to be a lot of fun to watch that machine fight. And then we just mentioned them, the featherweights, Megatron, the small version of Solid Blaze. They're going to, probably get that automatic pass to the finals today. Ares is here representing the great people at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Maybe we'll see old MIT fighting new MIT with Megatron versus Ares at some point today. That would be phenomenal. Robo Jackets from a different college down south in the University of Georgia. They are here. I'm sorry, Georgia Technical, not the University of Georgia. They'd probably hate me for saying that. And then we also have Circuit, not from a college. They're just from Indiana, getting corn and all that jazz. But now, storylines. That's what we want to talk about. We just talked about Robo Jackets, so we'll jump into them first. The Hive is back, guys. If you know Robo Jackets and you know Robot Combat, these guys have always been a force into the sport. Before NHRL, they were at Robo Games every year with robots like Mandy and stuff, making runs to the quarterfinals, doing great stuff over there. Now they don't go to Robo Games anymore because NHRL is a lot closer and they don't need to build nearly as big of robots to make an impact, and they definitely have made an impact. They always bring at least a couple of robots to the finals before the year is said and done. This is going to be their first attempt to do that this time around, as they have 4 robots across 3 weight classes. Oops. Oh, NHRL's been pushed back 30 minutes due to technical difficulties. I should not sound excited about that, but that means I can breathe a little bit and we can hang out a little bit longer. Maybe do a little bit of Robo Games catch-up after this if we have a little bit of time. So that's fun. By the way, Tony D'Ambrosio, good morning. Good to see you. If you just got here, we were just talking a little bit about Aria's debut at NHRL just now. We are all super excited about it over here. We're going to be cheering her on and cheering you on over the course of the event. Trying to make it to the finals. I'm so excited to see it. Continuing on, though, here. By the way, Corbin Reed, I see you too. Welcome along. Thank you for joining the live stream. The Hive, though, is back. I'm super excited. I believe we got 2 featherweights here for Robo Jackets. We got 1 hobbyweight here for the Robo Jackets, and then we have 1. I'm sorry, actually, no, I think it's 3 featherweights and 1 beetleweight for the Robo Jackets here today. All, of course, with the lowercase i's at the end of the name. It's pretty easy to find them in a crowd with the other robots. We'll see here. My phone is like tripping the hell out on Instagram Live. It's a little bit annoying, but I digress. We see how the Robo Jackets do. They always make a presence. But, of course, you want to talk about making a presence. Today is a very special day for myself and many others here in the world of Robot Combat and outside of Robot Combat. You know, Snoop Dogg's having a good time somewhere. Higher Prophecy, our second storyline to talk about. Wake and Bake are finally back in NHRL on a very special day as they make their 12-pound debut. Like I already mentioned, sometimes the translation to a 12-pounder from a 3-pounder isn't the most successful. Some robots have had better luck with it, such as Caldera, who has really turned it around at last event. Some robots don't have that much luck with it. Axis of Evil took some limps on the road to becoming a better 12-pounder. Oh, Jesus, running out of gas there. We're all good. I have nothing to drink. I drank my last buble last night when I was doing the live stream. So I'm running on pretty much straight fumes here, though we're really excited. We really do hope we can see Wake and Bake have an insane run, maybe make it to the NHRL finals. We'll be lighting up for it. Will it be lucky green for them? We can only hope so, because I know Tony D'Ambrosio in the Instagram chat right now can back it up. Alex and Angel are phenomenal people. They deserve the world. Maybe we can see them get a little bit of fanfare today during a big-time competition for them. Hopefully they can stay sober for it. I know it's going to be tough for these guys on April 20th to keep the green clean, at least until after the event. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll say, fuck it, we ball, and go into it anyway. feeling good. We're just going to have to see. I won't judge either way. I'm going to be cheering for them in the 12-pound class. Finally, we have another big group of robots, and they're a big conglomerate of robots to talk about here, with Team Stamina reuniting with 3 robots in the 3-pound class, and all these robots have a chance to win it all. On their road to getting After Image to Vegas, of course. We've been talking a lot about After Image over the last year. It was supposed to show up at RoboGames this year. That ended up not working out. Maybe the goal is going to be RoboGames 2025. Might have had to do with the arena being so shaky. But now we know that Lars is here. We know that Johnny is here. We know that a lot of their crew is here at this event for the first time all year, you know, chatting it up, hanging out at their Airbnb, building robots, working on robots together throughout the night. I'm sure they're on zero sleep right now, on the road to getting After Image to Vegas, whether it be for World Championship 8 or Proving Grounds. They're sharpening their blade. And like I said, they brought 3 beetle weights to this competition. They have the Killer Horizontal Spinner, the Bahamian Brawler, Spartan. They're going to be here. We have Power Surge 2, a little bit of an unsung hero for the team. You can see that green drum bot right there on screen right now. They're here. Fine Feig Dagan, thank you for joining our Instagram live stream. And of course, not pictured here. We're going to be talking about it here in just a second, though. Impact, they are also part of here. Lars Elliott, one of the best young drivers in the world right now. At least one of these robots, I think, is going to qualify for the NHRL finals today, if not more than one. Wouldn't be surprised if we see an all-stamina final. It really just depends on how the bracket lays out between these 3 guys, I guess I should say. I'm very excited to see how Johnny, Lars, and the rest of the crew do at NHRL today. Gosh, it's going to be such a fun, exciting event. Looking at all the robots that we have fighting. So many exciting matchups here. As Instagram is being a little bit funny. I don't know. It must be my phone case. Something is touching my screen that's been messing it up, but I digress. Well, of course, we've already looked at a lot of these exciting matchups. So not that. That's RoboGames. Exciting matchups that are happening here. Looking at the Discord server, you know, what are people talking about? What fun stuff are people talking about? Event Horizon. There's some internals of Event Horizon. That is such an advanced, beautiful robot for a 3-pounder. Look at that work. That is phenomenal. Looks like Red Panda might have a Supreme Ruler mini bot, a can lifter mini bot. I saw that little lifter right there. Ooh, looks like Jameson might have gotten UPS again. I hope that isn't the case. Saying maybe we got some other exciting headlines coming out of this. Here's another pic of Spartan. Spartan's still getting ready, looking beautiful. Red wheels. They had a picture of it on Instagram yesterday, or maybe the day before that, of Team Mal shared online. There's a picture of Power Surge. Chris, that's the person I was forgetting on Team Stamina. Didn't mean to no-sell you, buddy. There's Power Surge. Power Surge looking pretty. Is this a flipper? Pretty Fly is the name of this fella. I assume it's a flipper if it's fucking fighting a traffic cone. Crazy Frog. I saw this robot yesterday. This thing looks a lot of fun. I don't know where it's what bracket it's in though, because I didn't see it anywhere. You look up Crazy Frog right here. And nothing pops up. So I'm not sure what event this robot is in. Maybe it's in the freestyles, so we'll see what happens. Maybe they're filling in for someone. I'm not exactly sure there. But there we go. We're getting a little bit close. 7:55 right now, so while we get towards wrapping things up, we will talk a little bit about RoboGames and Extreme Robots and take a peek at how those brackets are going before we leave, since we do have a little bit of extra time. Before we do that, let's jump over now to, oh gosh, that's old. Predictions, winner predictions. That's what we want. Oops, all averts. I kept things pretty straightforward here with my predictions this time. I almost predicted Chainsaw Killing winning it all last time around. Not so lucky. We do have a lot of spinners here. I almost thought it was going to be a Jameson Go sweep, but I ended up saying no. I think Silent X might be outclassed with some of the other robots in the 3-pound class. Don't know if that's going to be the same point for the 12-pound and 30-pound class. I do believe we're going to see Psycho and Megatron both leave with hardware today. They're both going to qualify for the finals, and they're both going to take home some golden dumpsters. A little bit something more for G3 Robotics, already absolutely massive trophy case. Like they need any more. They're going to be taking home some money as well. Jameson Go. I think Megatron's going to do super well. I think Psycho's going to do well. I'll be shocked if these robots collectively have 2 losses between them when this competition is over. I think it's just going to be 1, if that at all. Maybe none, because I have both these robots, of course, going all the way to the championship, doing well here. If I had to pick a robot to make it to the finals between both of these robots, I would say I would like to see Chonkiv. Don't know if that's going to be the case. I could very well see a Megatron Waddles final happening. Bit of a battle between robot styles there. Horizontal spinner versus vertical spinner. Undercutter versus hammer saw. And then maybe in the 12-pound finals, you know, Psycho versus Maximizer is a pretty dead ringer pick. Though I could see Psycho versus Mind Flayer. Maybe even Psycho versus Pahe if this Brazilian robot can live up to the Brazilian hop. You just sort of automatically assume when a robot is from Brazil that they're going to be really, really damn good, especially if they're making the money and making the trip to go to NHRL across oceans and seas. You better be good. You're putting a lot of money into a trip like that, especially for some of these smaller teams like Team Göteborg, who we've never heard of before. You know, sure, they compete at events like the Iron Cup, but how are they going to do in a big event? We're just going to have to see. That's enough about the 12 pounds and 30 pounds. What about the 3-pound class? And there were a lot of robots I jumped around here for this. I almost had Clyde. I almost had Silent X. I almost had Spartan. I ended up deciding on a different Team Stamina robot, and I went with Impact, who is a massive pain to make out here on the all-white background. But this is a robot that Lars has designed on Robot Rumble 2. I believe that's the lore for it. It is very Lynx inspired, as you can tell. Classic 4-wheel drive vertical spinner, 2 wedges at the front, little bit of an egg beater on the face. This robot has done well in the past, but it hasn't made that deep run at NHRL yet. Leatherface has joined. What's up, buddy? Good to see you in the chat. We're gonna have to see here, though. I think, like I said, I think we're gonna have to see at least one Team Stamina robot qualify in the 3-pound class. But for me personally, I think this is gonna be Impact's day. You know, like I said, a lot of really good robots in here. Wormhole may make a run. Maybe we'll see Blackbird make an insane run. But for me, I do think this is going to be Team Stamina's day. Lars Elliott is a fantastic driver. It's a shock he hasn't won an NHRL event yet with jet lag. We know he's made it to a couple of finals with the robot. Jet lag, though. Not the robot today. It's going to be Impact, I think. I think they're going to take the championship. I have Impact as the 3-pound champion, Psycho as the 12-pound champion, and Megatron as the 30-pound champion. I don't think I've gotten any of these championship predictions right in the year and a half I've been doing these TCC NHRL preview streams. So maybe I'll get lucky this time around. Fingers crossed. We'll just have to see how it goes. I might have just jinxed Impact, Psycho, and Megatron. Watch Silent X end up being the only robot to win with G3 Robotics today. That would be just my luck. But there you have it, guys. If I knew that we'd have this extra time, I might have put together a matchups to watch out for graphic like I did last time around. But we already kind of covered what matchups you guys should be watching out for. I guess we can kind of go over them again if we want to. There's some really fun ones here. Ares and Barbie and Kent are going to put together a massive battle between 3 killer vertical spinners of 3 different varieties. That's going to be super good. Megatron versus Chonkiv is going to be super good. These 2 guys met all the way back at NHRL 2022, I want to say. It might have been 2023. They're very good teams. Both these robots have won championships in the past. We're going to have to see what happens here in this rematch. You got to go for Megatron, though, as a little bit of a robot you're leaning in for. Penguin versus Snake, of course. Moccasin versus Emperor. Smack-a-Lantern versus Tsunami. A battle of the drum bots. A lot of really good qualifier battles happening in this 12-pound class. We already talked about Maximizer versus Mind Flayer. 2 very unique weapons. We have the Thagomizer-style robot and the Zodkill-style robot going at it head-to-head here. That's going to be super good, super fun. Of course, Arsenal versus Kilojoule. How is Arsenal going to do representing Puerto Rico? How is Baby Room going to do representing India? 2 international competitors right there. We got, I guess, 4 countries represented this time. We got Brazil, of course. We got America, of course. We got Puerto Rico, and we got India. The Arabia-Canadian robot here as well, for all I know. Maybe even a European robot. They always sneak 1 or 2 in. Void versus B2B Breaker. It should be a good little fight. Psycho versus Gotham will be a good first battle for Psycho. And then in the 3-pound class, we already went over some of those robots a little bit. Not too much stands out to me, at least, just because there's a lot of unknowns, a lot of young names in here. But we do have Patrick Bateman versus Louis the 15th, which looks like is going to be a fun battle between robots inspired by real people. We got Jack Ketch taking on Zephcon. Like I said, not really too many big names here. Red Panda taking on Ankle Biter. Fun fact about Ankle Biter, there is an Ankle Biter in a 3-pound class at Robo Games and NHRL this weekend, which really confused me when I was looking at the brackets for both of those events back to back. I was like, how the hell is this robot getting around? Faye Fan is taking on Robo Jacket Skinny. That should be a really good battle for early qualifying robots. Uchfoot's taking on Angus. That's another battle between early qualifying teams that you should watch out for. Looks like Robolot has forfeited their battle against Flycut. Power Surge 2 versus the Kraken is going to be happening. Sliced Bread versus Drop Top. Doom versus Who Cares. If you want to know who the Weirma robot is going to be battling first, it's going to be Doom. Wormhole is taking on Nochi. Look at me nailing that word on pronunciation first try. Impact is going to be taking on Tryhard. That should be a fun battle. Clyde's going to be cooking it, waking and baking against MK Nerd in round 1. Scab Armor versus Hammerhead. Plenty of fun battles to look forward to, guys, at NHRL. But while we're in overtime here, and we have a few more extra minutes on our live streams as the maker of game and DS Robotics joins on our Instagram live chat. DS Robotics, of course, the guys who built Godspeed, who was competing at Battle of Robots earlier this year and later this year. Godspeed actually won the Super Finals. Congratulations to you guys. I'm sure we'll see you guys ranked very high on the TCC rankings this year, and we'll probably see you very high on the TCC 100 next year when we do those videos once again, I'm sure. And if any of you guys are curious what I'm talking about, TCC 100, we ranked the 100 best heavyweights from 2023 in a 3-part video series. If you have 2 hours of time to sit back, put something on in the background, you want to listen to my nasally voice, talk about 100 great robots, check that video out, or I should say series of videos. I'm very proud of them personally. I never say that about my stuff, but I think the editing on them came out fantastically. You might not like the list. I want to do some measurements and some adjustments to the list before we start doing our rankings accounting for 2024. We're already a little bit behind. We got some fights to catch up on there, but we will be doing it eventually, and I look forward to it. Not to get too off topic, but you know what? Hey, fuck it. We're talking about heavyweights. Let's Am I getting snuffly again? Ruh-roh. Jeff Rodriguez, welcome to the live stream. We have anyone in our new chats? Candy1516, welcome to the live stream on YouTube. Glad to have you in here, buddy. Good morning from the U.S. Good morning from Texas here. Hopefully you're not on the West Coast, because that would mean it's like 6 a.m. over there, and that is, ew. I didn't even get up at 6 a.m. In fact, funny story, I actually forgot to set my alarm today. So I got up, and you know, when you get up super early, you're sort of in that Schrodinger's time. You don't know what time it is when you get up. You're looking for your phone. I'm sitting here like, oh my God, is it 5 a.m.? Is it 7 a.m.? Is it 8 a.m.? What's going on here? I don't know. It's cloudy outside. It could be any time period. Turned out it was 6:41 a.m. I got up at literally the perfect time to get up real quick, wash off real quick, put on a shirt, do the Instagram live, do all this, and get going here. So thank you to my Ultra Instinct body for waking me up at the perfect time. But yes, guys, real quick, while we're getting ready here for NHRL to get their stream going, they're a little bit behind. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of a break here and talk about Robo Games real quick and see how their bracket is doing. Let's see. RoboCore Event Manager. If you don't know where the Robo Games bracket is, go to our VOD real quick and pull the link from there. We'll see what's going on here in... I was about to say, I was like, what happened to all the lightweights? Take a quick look at this bracket here with you guys. Where we were yesterday, looks like not too much has changed in the lightweight class. Little Kahuna and Mutually Assured Destruction. Okay, Twister did end up being El Tortuga. We were kind of expecting that, and that's going to set up Mutually Assured Destruction versus Twister in the semifinals of the winners bracket here. Drumbot versus Full Body Spinner. Glad to see Twister get a victory, because Twister went 0-2 at Robo Games last year after a very, very tough, very, very unfortunate tournament. Tastes Like Burning, of course, beat Herger Pounded. I got to seek out that battle. That looks like it was a fun one. Herger Pounded is now waiting on an opponent, as is Little Kahuna. Federal MT is now scheduled to fight Tortuga in the first round of the losers bracket. Should be an easy win for Federal MT, assuming the robot can get working, because it did have the forfeit its very first battle of the year yesterday. Very unfortunate. I do have Federal MT winning this bracket though, so I hope they can make that losers run and pretty much have to go undefeated if it's going to do good here. Not really much else happening here. Little Kahuna weighing the winner of that battle. That's going to be a horizontal spinner versus vertical spinner showdown, assuming Federal MT can get through. And I think I would pick Federal MT to defeat Little Kahuna in that situation. Moving over to the middleweight class, though. Wolverine, Who's Your Daddy Now, Budgetbot 2, and Mortician. Obviously not a lot of robots to talk about here. And it looks like only one fight has happened with Wolverine versus Who's Your Daddy Now, which was won by Who's Your Daddy Now. I'm actually predicting Who's Your Daddy Now to be the winner of this small 4 robot weight class. Who's Your Daddy Now has at very least guaranteed itself a medal with that victory against Wolverine. So good for them there. We'll have to see how the Scottbots Forest Ye do. They got a robot in every big weight class, so they are going to be very busy with this event. Budgetbot versus Mortician has not happened yet, but should be a very good fight for Mortician. Budgetbot doesn't look like the sturdiest machine. Looks like it was a little bit of a last-minute build by Team Echo. And then finally, in the heavyweight class, doesn't look like too much else has happened. I did actually get to see some footage of Black Dragon versus Terratops. It was sent to me by the awesome Jeff Waters yesterday, and shouts to him for sending me that. Sent me footage of Jackpot versus Spin Doctor or Swamp Serpent as well, so thank you for that. Black Dragon had a pretty good fun little fight against Terratops. Both robots got some good hits in what was a 1-minute quick draw battle. Terratops ended up doing the thing, got stuck on its ass, and Black Dragon advanced, and that sets up Jackpot versus Black Dragon in the second round of the tournament. Winner will advance, loser will be fine. We'll move into the losers bracket, but that is a BattleBots main event level fight. Definitely one that we should all be going out of our way to look for. I am super excited for that. Manta is going to be fighting Echo 3.0. God bless Echo 3.0. It's going to be looking a little bit like Budgetbot after that Manta battle, I do fear. Hopefully they have that tap out button ready, because they very well might need it after that battle. Manta is insane. It already obliterated the face of RoboGames' original sin. We're going to have to see how it does here. Mondamis is taking on Raging Scotsman after Raging Scotsman. We saw a little bit of this battle footage. Got the upset victory over Lucky in round 1. So Lucky, who has started off so well at RoboGames last year, defeated a very similar robot in original sin like Raging Scotsman last year. They're 0-1. They were out-controlled by Forest Ye and the Scottbots gang. And now Ziggy Jr., a.k.a. Lucky, even with the phenomenal driving of Matt Olson, is going to be facing Travis T in the losers bracket. One BattleBots All-Star fan favorite level robot is going out super early at 0-2. And that's a tough draw for Travis T. A super tough draw for Travis T. Lucky has more configurations than a lot of these super configuration-based robots in the sport, like Ribbot. They're definitely going to have some anti-horizontal spinner armor, maybe even that full body bumper that we've seen them use in the past against robots like Orby Blade. Maybe we'll see that in use against Travis T. It's going to be very fun to see such a long, awkward robot like Travis T get thrown around. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But now Raging Scotsman has moved on, and they're going to be taking on Mondamis in a battle of round 2 robots. I did not expect to make it to round 2. It's going to be Flamethrower versus Front Hinge Flipper, a very control-based fight. I'm going to be shocked that Mondamis wins this, just because Raging Scotsman and RoboGames, they go hand in hand. Very few robots here, probably the only robot being Original Sin, has more fights inside this arena than Raging Scotsman. So I got to go with it. But Mondamis, they already shocked me once beating Travesty. Maybe they'll shock me again. I would certainly love to see it, because I love watching the Woolley brothers, the lawyers by day, fighters by night, coming into the arena. Ooh, burp. And then finally, we have Magnitude versus Puck. It looks like Magnitude versus Stink Eye, what Chad knew had to leave our stream yesterday to get ready for, did eventually happen. Stink Eye, of course, Ray Billings' robot. Magnitude, the brand new Colorado heavyweight to join Copperhead. They are 2-0 right now at Proving Grounds this year after a rough Proving Grounds last year, and now they are 3-0. They're 3-0 right now. Really good position for them, and they're getting Puck next, who got a shocking victory over Hailstorm, the brand new robot. Probably dealt with some internal gremlins. Setting up Magnitude versus Puck should be a pretty easy win for Magnitude as long as it can get to the sides of the lumbering wedge bot from Sierra College out of Washington. Love to see how it goes. Matt Olson wasn't present. He was unavailable for this year's event. Ooh, yikes. Maybe that's why Lucky isn't doing so good. That actually changes a lot for me. But I wonder if that means that's why he wasn't. I wonder if he couldn't have been at the All-Star. You would probably know this better than me than Leatherface. Was he at the All-Star weekend then? Because I heard that Banshee kicked Lucky's ass on All-Star weekend. I haven't seen the fight yet. I have supported her. I just haven't had a chance to binge the fights yet. Have to see what happens there, but yeah, rest in peace, Echo. No kidding there, buddy. Looking at the losers bracket, Boyan versus Terratops. I am so sorry. You have to fight another BattleBots level robot Mediator. We love you, buddy. Best of luck. At least you're fighting another yellow robot. It's going to be very aesthetically pleasing. I don't know for sure. I haven't been paying my subscription. I feel that, buddy. I do it every now and then, too. Swamp Serpent's got a bye, so they're going to be fighting the winner of Terratops versus Boyan, so it's probably going to be Terratops versus Swamp Serpent. Swamp Serpent very well might be going up against two BattleBots level competitors back-to-back. I mean, it's a King of Bots level competitor, so it should be equal game, but we'll see how it goes down. Warthog is already 0-1 after a loss to Echo 3.0. No surprises there. No offense to them. They're waiting for the winner of Swamp Thing versus Original Sin, a battle of the OG drivers from way back in the day. Of course, Original Sin, Gary Jen. He had robots like Big B back in the day. Did the brackets update? It is 6:12 a.m. Y'all better not be having fights at Robo Games right now. I tell you what. Maybe someone forfeited. I don't know. But yeah, Swamp Thing, of course, Rust Robotics. These guys had machines like Low Blow. I loved Low Blow back in the day. I would love to see a heavyweight Low Blow. And Original Sin, of course, they had robots like Big B back in the day. More well known for obviously robots like Free Shipping, who was inspired by Original Sin, pretty much a advanced version of Original Sin. I think Original Sin should have their day and win that fight at the very least. Setting up a battle against Warthog where they should also be fine. Who knows? Maybe they'll have that deep bracket run this time around. Eventually, they are going to have to run into a very game opponent like Swamp Serpent or Terratops. We'll have to see how they do there. Maybe they can make it. We'll have to see. We know Gary Jane can drive it, at least. Maybe they can fight it. Double Trouble is going to be taking on Stink Eye, a battle of the RoboGames exclusive robots. A battle of the robots that don't really have feeder wedges. So we'll have to see how that goes down for both those robots. Double Trouble, a brand new robot, got its ass ripped apart by Black Dragon earlier in the event. And then, oh yeah, shouts to Final Verdict. I love Final Verdict. I really wish we could see Jetlag compete at one of these events. I know it's exhibition only, but come on, it's such a cool robot. Double Trouble and Stink Eye. You gotta think Stink Eye is gonna win it. Stink Eye usually is a robot that has a good 2-2 record in it for these events. It will move on to fight Hailstorm, in which will be a vertical spinner versus vertical spinner battle. But if Double Trouble does advance, then we're getting the two robots which are making their pure debut here in Hailstorm and Double Trouble, fighting one another at RoboGames. That's also pretty exciting. Hello, Yashiel Dasiaitun on Instagram Live. Good to see you. Good to see anybody that is also jumping in on our YouTube live stream. That's kind of our, that's a good primer to run over our RoboGames robots here in the heavyweight, lightweight, and middleweight class. My predictions still stand. That's right, I refreshed. I don't have my RoboGames winners predictions up anymore, but I did have Federal MT winning lightweight. I had Who's Your Daddy Now winning middleweight, and I have Manta winning heavyweight. I'm still saying Manta's winning heavyweight. I'd be shocked if any other robot doesn't win heavyweight. Maybe Blackjack can pull it off. Maybe Magnitude can pull it off. Maybe, just maybe, Original Sin can bring it back around. That's about it. That's about the only few robots I can see maybe doing it. Looking at these few from here, yeah, no one really stands out. I can't see Mandamas pulling off the shock victory against that robot, to be bluntly honest. But yeah, I think that about covers RoboGames big bots. Not much else to talk about. We're not exactly expecting any fights happening while we're live streaming for the last few minutes. So you know what? While we're here, there is another show in town. Let's talk a little bit about Extreme Robots while we're here. In fact, let's go to our Instagram feed. Let's go to our Instagram feed and see what everybody else is doing. Of course. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, no. That's a different robot from Alex. But here's what Nochi looks like. Looks like Nochi is going to be a 2-wheel drive drum bot. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If you guys want to see some RoboGames fights, since they aren't live streaming, OkamiFan1 on Instagram is posting a ton. He's been posting them nonstop. So if you want to check those out, go there. We're probably going to be having to ask him for fight footage. Bristol Bot Builders in the UK, they're having some fun. What is this? Is this at RoboGames? I'm kind of shocked that Team Malice is at RoboGames after the big post, but I digress. Going through our feed here, looking for maybe something else that stands out. And I'm excited. I gotta tell you, I'm excited for Team Orby building this mini warhead. But every time I see these CADs, I shit myself. I get so excited thinking that robot's coming back, and he isn't. I'm never gonna see Warhead again. That's a really fun thing. Of course, if you know Evan Woolley on Instagram, he makes robot cocktails, robot themed cocktails, I should say. Looks like he's made a Mondamus theme one. That's a fun one. FRC finals is also happening right now. You want to talk about other forms of competitive robotics? That's pretty exciting. All right. Well, it looks like Extreme Robots has not waken up yet, so we'll go ahead and just go to their page and kind of preview what robots we know are going to be present at this event. I'm not exactly fully convinced. I'm not certain fully what the format for Extreme Robots is yet, to be honest. One can assume they're still doing the team format because they always do that. We're going to have the 4 teams again. Team Inferno led by Team Invade, Team Quake led by Team Shock, Team Divinity led by Team Saint, and Team Wolfpack led by Team Iron Awe. They're all going to be there again. We already, of course, have some of the big names confirmed. Like we all know, TCC number 2 ranked Eruption is going to be there to continue another likely super insane run. Maybe they'll finally make number 1 this year. They're going to be there. They're probably going to qualify for the European Championships today. Probably not too far behind them. Qualifying at a future event will be Ignition, more likely than not. The front hinge flipper, probably the best front hinge flipper in the world. We also have Gabriel here. Who knows if they will qualify for the European Championships? They've had some bad luck lately. They've had some really bad luck. They just have not been able to keep up with the Brit Flippers in the UK. They were the 2nd lowest ranked robot on the TCC overall rankings after an abysmal year last year. Maybe they can turn things around. I certainly hope they can. Another robot that we have finally coming in. We have Mega Mouse, who I talked about a little bit on our Instagram story a couple days ago. Mega Mouse, after being around for over a decade, finally showing some teeth. Look at that new paint job, guys. It looks angry. Angry boy. Looks kind of shades of Velociraptor from back in the day. One of the team's old robots back in the Robot Wars days. It actually competed until about 2011, 2014. But it has retired since. Been retired for about a decade. The only team robot that really competes for Team Mouse, aka Team Outlaw, is Mega Mouse. Still, that might change this year. We know that Spitfire is waiting to come back. Maybe it's finally going to come back, especially with the announcement of the European Championships. Mega Mouse looks great here. I love the new paint job. I don't know if it's going to be a competitor necessarily. It did make its way into the championships once, so we'll have to see how it goes. It looks like Tectonic is our defending champion to kick off the year with the Extreme Robots heavyweight title. And speaking of Team Quake, we also have other robots here. Thor is going to be there, of course. Jason Marston, the one-man army, who has had a glow-up last year after a rough 2022. That guy went to Battle Boss with Beta, turned it around. By the way, what's up, M Smile Peas? Thank you so much for attending our Instagram Live. TR4 is back. TR4 made their return to Robot Combat after a few-year hiatus last year, and it's so exciting to see them return. Brit Flipper, they had a pretty good start to the year. Not so much the end of the year. They started losing to some robots they should have beat. They had some reliability issues. And last year they were on Team Wolfpack, and now they're on Team Quake. So maybe they'll have a little bit more success in the point spectrum of things. Poseidon is also going to be on Team Quake. Shockingly, the highest ranked Team Quake robot last year when we had robots like Mansa, Aftershock, Thor on the team. Poseidon, formerly known as Ace, now known as Poseidon. It's a brand new robot. It is very unproven, but it has managed to pick up some shocking wins already in the sport, so it'll probably do more of the same. Certainly looks the part. Manta, well, not the RoboGames Manta, but still a very solid Manta. Also here, will be doing very good. We'll probably see it at the European Championship, just like all these other robots. Troublemaker, maybe not. We'll have to see how they do. It's another robot that has deal with gremlins. Either they're on it or they're not for these events. Looks like they've made a bit of a trade of sorts. TR4 now on Team Quake. Troublemaker, who was on Team Quake last year, now on Team Wolfpack. It's a little bit disappointing because Troublemaker had some very good tag team battles with the likes of Tectonic, Poseidon, and especially Manta last year. Really did some damage to other robots and picked up some victories that way. Made it into the TCC 100 thanks to that. Might be a little bit harder with the underdog team this time around. Troublemaker, though, back for another season, back for another year of TCC rankings. And, of course, you got to have... This is interesting to me. I'm actually quite interested by this. Iron Awe. Just Iron Awe here. RC Boy Dot. Welcome to Instagram Live. Does this mean we're not going to have Iron Awe 5? Does this mean we're not going to have Iron Awe 6? Is Iron Awe 8 just a de facto standalone Iron Awe now? That would be pretty big, given that Iron Awe has quite a history of showing up with like 3 versions of itself at competitions. But yes, we do have Iron Awe 8 confirmed here. Quite frankly, Iron Awe 8 has been the most successful lately. It won an event, a Robots Live event last year, and did very well at Extreme Robots events. I believe it held the Flippers title at one point. Have to see how they do. Another robot at Team Wolfpack, the Alpha front hinge flipper, very boxy. It had some huge internal gremlins problems, built by Shane Lale last year. Really didn't get to appear much on main show Motorama, Jesus, Extreme Robots events. Kind of got stuck, relegated to the Fight Club qualifiers, just not being able to get into battles. Had some real trouble trying to self-right last year. We'll have to see what happens this time around. Wish it the best of luck. Oh, Robo Collector 30. Yes, I need to look at that art. In fact, you know what? I'm going to shout you out. I'm going to look at this art right now because I meant to look at it yesterday and I completely forgot because I was so tired after that live stream. We're going to shout you out, dude. We're going to look at this right now. Oh, it's Gareth. I know you, dude. Yeah, I remember all this stuff. Of course, you got the classic Panic Attack. Oh, I love this. All right, there you go. You earned yourself a follow, buddy. Everyone, make sure you check out Robo Collector 30. I know Gareth, actually. Gareth has been in the scene for quite some time, so it's good to see him hanging out and sharing that. Love it. Love it so much. Thank you. Let's see here. Anyone else hanging out here? Buffalo High Face. Welcome to the YouTube live stream. I know you were just on the Instagram live. Good to see you, buddy. Hopping around, getting views on both the pages. You'll love to see it. But back to Extreme Robots here. I get so off topic so easily. So we looked at some of the robots. We know some of the machines on Team Quake, such as, you know, the Team Shock robot, such as Thor. We know some of the Wolfpack robots, such as Mega Mouse, such as Troublemaker. We know some of the Inferno robots, such as Eruption and Ignition. I'm sure Beast is going to be there too eventually. What about spinners? We got some spinners right here. Here's a brand new one, and this is actually quite interesting. I think this robot competed a little bit last year under the name Vortex or something, and did okay. Actually, I shouldn't say did okay. It went 0-3, got knocked out 3 straight times at the last event. But now it's going under the name Tallow. Very original Tauron-esque in its shape. Don't know what's going on there, but it's very meta, very classical vertical spinner. If it works, it should hit like a truck. You know what I mean? Look at how that robot looks. And of course, we got Donald Thump, who is back. Team Ballistics with their fantastic Donald Trump impression. They're going to be there to turn some heads and make some laughs at Extreme Robots. And of course, we talked about Mind Flayer. We talked a good bit about Zadkill already. The TCC number 6 overall ranked robot, Zadkill, is back, of course. They're going to have a little bit more competition this time around, as I'm sure machines like Monsoon, like Ominous, and who knows who else will probably also be partaking in the European Spinners Championship season this time around, trying to win that European Spinners title. Should be super good. That kind of looks like it's it for Extreme Robots. Not much else in terms of info. That already confirms quite a few robots. Not really any new robots because Well, I mean, I guess we know about Leviathan's new version. That's pretty exciting. But we'll do just to see what happens on the Extreme Robots live stream later on in the day. I know I'm going to be watching that too. But there we go, guys. It's 8:25. I know the NHRL stream will probably be starting in about 5 minutes. So we'll go ahead and start wrapping it up here. I already made some predictions. If you missed them earlier, be sure to check out Spartan, Blackbird, Clyde, and Who Cares in the 3-pound class at NHRL. Blackbird, of course, being driven by Aria D'Ambrosio. That's going to be exciting. Clyde's going to be lighting the blunt a little bit. Maybe they'll make a big run. Who Cares is powered by a Wii Remote. And Spartan comes from the Bahamas, is making another chance, another run at the NHRL Finals. In a 12-pound class, Wake and Bake is going to be trying to wake and bake with you guys, win itself a championship on a big holiday. Fell asleep before I could upload all my Robot Games Day 1 footage. That's okay, dude. You were up late last night. I was up till like 2, and you were still posting videos. So you deserve the rest. Those videos are still going to make it out on Instagram, whether it be yesterday or today, and I'm going to be watching all of them. So thank you for your work. Thank you for being out there with the camera. I certainly appreciate that. Mind Flayer, of course. We just talked about Zach Kiel. Get to see a small version of it competing in the USA today. It's going to be very excited. Brandon Bennett Young, great driver behind the wheel. We'll have to see how he does. And, of course, Battle Tots, talking about small heavyweights. Look out for those robots. Featherweight class, Megatron, G3 Robotics, Sawblaze Mini, pretty much right there. Aries from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology did very well. Made it to the semifinals in March. They're going to be fun to watch. Chonkia from RoboJackets is here. We saw Chonky a few times over the years. This is the sequel. Maybe they can finally make it into the NHRL Finals with this robot. And then my buddy Ethan Shipley has Circuit. It is one of the first. It's one of very few Axbots competing in the United States in NHRL in the 30-pound class, competing full combat for the first time ever after a Sportsman Motorama appearance. Big storylines to follow, guys. Be sure to check out how the RoboJackets, how's Team Stamina do? How is Wake and Bake going to do on their big holiday? That is super exciting to follow. My championship picks, though, personally, I think Impact with Lars Elliott is going to be our champion in the weight class for the 3-pounders. We are going to see at least one Team Stamina robot qualify today, and that's my pick as to who. We very well could see a Spartan versus Impact final. I would love to see that. Psycho from G3 Robotics and Megatron from G3 Robotics. I think Jameson Go is going to go back-to-back, take both here, and maybe only lose one between these two robots, Psycho and Megatron. They're going to do great, and I think they're going to qualify. Those are my 3 predictions, as it is now 8:28 a.m., guys. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get out to watching Extreme Robots, watching Robo Games, watching NHRL, whatever you may be watching today. I know I'm going to be watching a lot of stuff. I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to have multiple monitors on. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be nerding out. We're going to have some big hits. We're going to have some big moments. We're going to have some big championships. And we're going to hopefully have some big stories for you guys in upcoming TCC episodes. What to expect from TCC moving forward? Well, we do want to do a video over the upcoming Extreme Robots event. That will happen. We are going to do a video over the Battle Robots Super Final. I know that was late February, but it was a heavyweight event. We do want to cover it, so that will happen in the pipeline. We are going to be doing a video, a bit of a journal video, over my experience with the Combot Crusader at March 2nd's NHRL event. I wanted to have it out by now, but I really also want to make sure that this is like one of my best videos ever done. I record literally everything from that event, so I want to make sure it is tip-top magoo for you guys, and that's going to be a very fun video, and hopefully it will do super well. You know, we made history. I want it to be able to highlight what Andre Kershaw has done, because I feel like I just haven't yet. I feel like too many people have been talking about me when they talk about the Combot Crusader, and he's the genius behind everything, the TP robot, the main robot himself, and they just deserve all the love in the world. See you all on the YouTube live stream, of course. Everyone's starting to file out as NHRL now going live on YouTube. Be sure to follow him and check it out over there. If you're watching this event and you're not watching NHRL for some reason, I don't know how that may have happened, but I digress. Kind of covers the basis of what I want to do in the future. Robot Combat tonight, I want to still do it, but the format is just it's such a wonky thing to decide on. I really don't know what I want to do with it. Getting guests has been tricky. I only have one guy that's like super consistent right now in terms of my co-host. I know I can expect whenever, so that makes it a little bit awkward. It's always a bit of a pain to write scripts for those episodes too, so we'll see how it goes. I'm just rambling here. It is 8:30 a.m. We have been live for an hour and a half. This is a better turnout than I thought, considering I only got the stream going and working the last second. So, hey, guys, thank you all so much for attending this live stream. as everyone starts to file out. Yeah, just started checking over the chat. Everyone that has watched today, like my buddies Tom Sanford, Tony D'Ambrosio, Okami Fan, Robo Collector in the Instagram Live, Kineketsu, Electric, Louis Procure, Candy1516, and everyone in the YouTube chat. You guys keep the Combot Collective, Combot cooking, so I appreciate you all so much, more than you guys could even know. But that's it for me. This is Sterling Brown from the Combot Collective, wrapping up a second straight day of live streams here. It has been so much fun. I would expect the next live stream to be the next NHRL event, most likely. That's probably when the next one's going to be. I don't see myself doing them for the... obviously, there's not going to be another RoboGames level event happening anytime soon. Maybe we'll do one for Battle of Robots this year. That could be kind of fun. Maybe we'll do them for the Extreme Robots European Championship at the end of the year. That could be kind of fun. But those are just ideas right now. It's 8:31 a.m. Y'all are probably pretty ready to watch some robots fighting in Norwalk, Connecticut. So I'll let you guys get to that. I am Sterling, as always here, rocking the Tiger shirt. About to have a very good 420. You see that thing right there? It's about to get some usage today. Here at the Combot Collective. You guys have a wonderful holiday. Stay safe. Be safe. Don't get arrested if you're in an illegal state. And I'll see you guys next time for more videos and more live streams. Check it out. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Discord. We have a Discord server. Lots of builders, lots of fans chatting there. And peace.